From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. A warm-up is on the way for a lot of folks across the U.S. today and the rest of the week. More on that in just a moment. But that first taste of snow for many to start off the week has some thinking about skiing and snowboarding. AccuWeather's ski and snowboard long-range forecast is out, and I'll talk about that in just a few minutes. But let's get started with these warmer temps that folks in the east and south are waking up to this morning. Shorts and short-sleeve weather will return to the central and southeastern U.S. for the rest of the week, while millions in the northeast will continue to face winter-like cold requiring coats, hats, and possibly some snow shovels in the northern tier. Temperatures are forecast to rise significantly across the plains and parts of the Mississippi Valley in the coming days, with some locations likely to challenge daily record highs. Now, this surge is being driven by a pronounced northward bulge in the jet stream. Beneath this dome of warm air, temperatures at ground level will climb well into the 60s, 70s, and even some 80s for multiple days from the Rockies to the plains. Multiple daily record highs will be challenged Friday in Texas and Oklahoma. In Chicago, following a couple of days with highs in the 30s from Sunday and Monday, temps will rebound into the 50s from Wednesday through the end of the week, and then the 60s by the weekend. The historical average high for mid-November in Chicago is around 50. The combination of warm air and breezy conditions will increase the risk of wildfire ignition and rapid spread, though, in portions of the plains states where grass and brush have dried out. However, in the eastern third of the U.S., particularly in the northeast, cold air is expected to continue its grip on the region through the weekend. In this zone, a persistent southward dip in the jet stream will allow for periodic quick-moving storms and reinforcing pushes of cold air to drop in from Canada. Such a Clipper-style storm will roll through the region on Wednesday. This storm will manage to produce a period of accumulating snow in the Adirondacks of northeastern New York and the Green Mountains of Vermont. A small, slushy accumulation on top of what fell Tuesday is also possible in some areas of western and northern Pennsylvania and western and central New York. The air may even be cold enough for lake-effect snow bands on the northern shorelines of Lakes Erie and Ontario. South of this storm, afternoon temperatures are expected to increase by about 10 degrees from Tuesday's highs in the mid-Atlantic and southeastern New England, and by 10 to 20 degrees in the Ohio Valley states. For example, highs in New York City will be within a few degrees of 50, which is 5 or so degrees below the historical average. In the wake of the storm, colder air is forecast to return from Thursday to Friday, with some lake-effect snow possible over Lakes Erie and Ontario. Now, another Clipper storm is forecast to swing through the northeast over the weekend, with similar effects to the late-week storm. One difference will be a zone where an icy mixture is likely in parts of central and northern New England, eastern New York, and part of northeastern Pennsylvania. The same quick-paced storm track in the northeast will lead to many days with brisk to blustery conditions, adding to the chill and resulting in lower AccuWeather real-feel temperatures. In the southeast, once that cold air leaves after Tuesday, temperatures are expected to trend upward through late week and into the weekend. However, there may be some dips along the way, so be aware of that. Still, temperatures will rebound into the 60s and the 70s in Atlanta, for example, which will be at or slightly above the historical average for mid-November. In Orlando, highs will be within a few degrees of 80 from Thursday through the weekend for those heading to the theme parks before the Thanksgiving rush. For millions of skiers and snowboarders, the question this winter is not if the snow will fall, it's when and where it will pile up. AccuWeather's long-range forecasting team says it will be a season of contrasts across the U.S., with great powder for some slopes, while others face a winter where fresh snow may be a rarity. From the East Coast resorts that depend on an early season chill to the high-altitude mountains of the West, here is AccuWeather's ski and snowboarding forecast for this season. This winter is shaping up to be a bookend season across most of the country, with the best skiing conditions expected early and then late in the season. Across the Northeast, the storm track will favor an active early winter, sending snow producing systems from the Midwest into the Appalachians and New England. Cold air arriving in surges in early November and again in December will help resorts build an early season snow base before icy mix periods occur in January. A potential late season shift in the pattern could bring another round of storms in February, producing snow that will help to extend the skiing and snowboarding season into March. The Midwest is on track for a strong start as well, with a cold December promoting good snowmaking conditions in addition to natural snow. A mid-season lull could bring some ice and freeze-thaw cycles, impacting conditions on the slopes, but the return of typical wintry weather in late January should result in more favorable conditions. Some of the best ski conditions are predicted across the Northwest, Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming, where frequent storms will blanket the mountains with an abundance of snow. The best snow in these regions may fall before midwinter, with a brief, quiet stretch possible in January before the pattern recharges in early spring. The skiing and snowboarding season may start off on a good note across the Southwest and Four Corners states, with some resorts already open for the season. But conditions may take a turn as the calendar flips over to next year. AccuWeather long-range expert Paul Pastelok explains that while it will be a good start in the Northwest and Northern California, it will most likely become poor by the end of January as the storm track shifts north. High elevations may still do well in January, but lower elevation ski areas may have problems due to higher than average temperatures. Pastelok added that one or two atmospheric rivers could deliver some snow to California and other areas of the Southwest around the middle of the season, but this would only temporarily improve ski and snowboarding conditions there, as opposed to setting the tone for the remainder of the winter. That's all for now. You can find more regional forecasts and science-based articles at AccuWeather.com. And for your local forecast at your fingertips, download the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. I'll be back tomorrow with more from AccuWeather.